it myself.
Cool. You should do that. We are currently streaming. No one's going to come in for a couple of minutes, though, but
That's perfectly fine.
we're also probably recording. Hopefully, we're
That's.
recording. We are recording. Good.
Are you recording?
We
Good.
are. So, yeah. If you want, I can send you this also after, and you can put it up on your channel too, or like
I might. I
cut
might cut it.
pieces.
I might cut some funny pieces out of it and go. Listen to Ringo. I'm gonna
Sounds
get.
good.
I'm gonna
Oh,
get a
hey,
blurb
shit.
of you.
Josh is already in here. What's up, buddy?
Wow. Did you share? Did you share the link on your page?
At some point in time.
Just send me the link now, you malcontent.
Uh,
Jesus. I just sat down and had a conversation with a couple people that are like, hey, let's do the thing, and I'm like, I'll do my best. I'm just taking what they're teaching me and putting it forward, bud.
yeah. Gutsy K2, what's up, man? Sorry, I don't recognize the name, but thanks for joining in. So I got Paul. Oh Jesus, so many people here already.
Wow.
um, what's up, Will? Um, we got someone from Cincinnati. This is already going way fast. All right,
Cincy.
all right. So Paul, you and we've been talking about doing something like this for a while, and we tried to do it earlier. Ran into some tech problems, so we're
Oh
trying to.
no, I was terrible at technology. What do you want?
I mean, I don't know. I want a new set of armor. I want COVID to end. That's about it. Those are my main wants.
You know,
Can you do either of those things for me?
God, you have no idea how much I want to help you, buddy. Uh, I'm looking at the same things. I literally just I finally got out of my truck. I sold the truck.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
What do
Hey,
you
can't argue with it.
what are you doing? What are you driving now? I really
Uh,
want it to be some tiny like Mini Cooper or something.
no, it's a '99 Volvo S70.
Do you remember fucking Dion in the fucking
The Scion? Yes.
Yes.
Dion and the Sion? Yes, I do remember. Me and him have gone to so many events in that.
I
Nobody
can't
knows.
imagine the two of you cramming into that little fucking.
If nobody knows who Andrew Dion is, Andrew Dion's my brother from another mother. Me and him fought on the first swords in ever living shit ton. But he's a 6'4", 300-pound giant of a man who can get to full speed in 2 steps, and
Oh,
you're 3 steps on the other side of him when he hits you.
dude.
Um,
Oh.
He's a giant man, and he's the Scion XP, and we get into this thing, and literally we've shown up to like foam fighting events and stick fighting events, and like everybody's just kind of pointed over at the car, and a couple people start heckling, like, and we're still in the car getting ourselves situated, and then we like crawl out of the sides of this box, and they're like, oh. Oh, wait a minute. That's a guy. That's enough. That's two dudes. What are you doing? Shut up, man. Shut up.
It's
Uh,
like
so,
four dudes. The two of you get out, and that's like half the size of another line.
yeah, it's not good. Um,
Anyway.
I always wanted somebody to like cut us off and then pull off to the side of the road, and then we just get out of the car and gone. You've had the wrong day, sir. The wrong people, wrong day, man. Uh, Not because I want to fight in a civil fight, but I just want to giggle about the idea. Just watch their face drain, and then we both get shot because that's how that goes.
Probably, yeah. DC
That's
area. I mean, like, I don't know
Oof.
how bad it is out. Like, you're in Virginia, right?
No, I'm in
You're
Maryland.
in Maryland. I can't keep y'all straight.
We're all from the tri-state of goofiness. What do you
Well,
want?
and also like you all like go together and hang out together, and then like I'll go to like one person's house in Maryland, and then the next is like in
Hmm.
Virginia, and then I
Yep.
don't know.
It is what it is. So, Ringo, me and you have been fighting together, what, 6 years? Five
Fuck, I
years.
don't know. 2014, so 6 years.
Is it 2000? Were you in 2014?
Yeah, isn't that the fucking when we went to Poland, or was that 15?
No, that was 2014 was Spain. 2015 was
All right,
Poland.
so yeah, we've been together for 5 years then.
Yeah, I went to the nationals in Illinois for the Spain trip.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, no, we've been going for 5 years, and we've started out as like starry-eyed rubes, and then progressed and done things.
Yeah.
Me and you have both been also communicating throughout those 5 years, talking about fighting and our ideas behind fighting and how we feel about it, how things are happening, what we should be doing more as a sport, as a team, as a fighter.
Yep.
We've been talking about all kinds of stuff for that on that for years.
Yeah,
Um,
and that's exactly like what we like trying to get this together. Like we tried to do before, trying to do it again now. And like we like every time you used to, I mean, used to, you probably would still be coming up if we fucking had the fucking didn't have the
yeah.
COVID. But like we'll usually end up on the fucking front talking about it, or like during a trip we'll just end up sitting and
Oh
fucking
yeah.
bullshitting about fighting.
hmm
So basically, wanted to get you on and bullshit about fighting.
I mean, we've been talking about the tactics and trying to be better at the team sport that it is. Like being a good all-around warrior and fighter is very important, but it's also the team aspect because I enjoy doing team fights a lot. And you've definitely done your accolades and had your accolades in melees as well. You're also a very good singles fighter. I am
Thanks.
moderate to mediocre. Uh, I can do stuff and I know how to coach it, but I can't. I don't win lots of things. Um, so but I know more than I can actually like do in my fighting.
Well,
It's the
I
problem.
mean, I'm pretty sure we've had this talk in person, and like my take on you has always been like when you're on, you're one of the best out there. It's just like you're not always on, you know.
It didn't happen. Believe
um,
me.
yeah, I know you. I know.
The
Yeah.
the last couple nationals I went to, I was walking wounded. I came in with a pulled back once. I came in with a blown knee. I've definitely had enough like random little injuries that mount up to something large and stop you at those higher levels of fighting.
Yeah, it's weird sometimes like the littlest thing like I broke a toe before a fight once and like it I could walk fine but like
hmm
it fucked up everything else for that fight like and like the adrenaline killed the pain I just
Yeah, you couldn't do it.
yeah I just
You couldn't force it.
I wasn't really running very well and I was kind of like
Yep.
hobbling and I'm like what the fuck's going on anyway.
Well.
Yeah.
I also had like a half-inch split in my side after a cat hit me at the one nationals in the horse arena. I fought the rest of the day without giving a shit. I'm like, there's just something pinching down there, and I pulled up my shirt. And my girl at the time's just like, oh, I can put my pinky in there. I'm like, oh no,
Yeah,
put that back down. I got a couple more fights to fight.
dude.
My Under Armour had made a blood pact in the top of it so it wouldn't bleed anymore.
There was like a fucking like it was swollen out like this fucking wide off of your
Ah,
side,
yeah, maybe.
and then the fucking actual hole. It was
Yeah,
that was gross. That was a
good
gross
times in
injury.
sports ball, eh? There's no
um,
crying and steel fighting. Yes, there is. There's lots of it.
yeah.
Um,
Um, yeah, it's pretty like sometimes not even from pain, sometimes just from
yeah,
losing.
yeah.
I may have done that a time or two.
Shit happens, bro.
Um,
I mean, come on.
Denmark.
yeah. Woo. Don't. We had that discussion, man.
We're not gonna
Um,
go over it, but like
no,
that one
absolutely
hurt.
not.
That one hurt.
No, I mean, but the thing is, in most high-end combat sports, you're gonna see that. MMA, you see those guys, like dudes that have been like training for months and months and months to have this one shot at a title, and they're like, no, it happened. And it does happen every damn day. Like, that's one thing that I hear from people a lot. They're like, I just don't want to lose. I'm like, dude, you're gonna lose. Life's about losing and how you deal with them losses.
Yeah.
And in steel fighting is exponentially more so because you get to lose a lot more. I have made a lifelong decision to have as many losses in my life as I humanly can.
Yeah.
Like pitting my will against somebody else in Magic, Warhammer. Let's go with Dagger here, Rattan fighting, being a two chuck, and then steel fighting. And then I've done like all kinds of different competitions. Like humans are naturally competitive, so that's kind of like built into our brains. So if you try and excel more and compete more, because competing makes you excel faster, we all know that, and better. Um, Not always better, but what works works. But having more losses to your name actually gives it builds character. What do you want me to tell you?
Yeah. I mean there's something to be said about trying to like pick when your losses happen, but like I don't know that we're like that's the thing MMA dudes do, right? They're trying to lose in practice as much as possible so that when they get on the mat, they don't.
That's yeah.
But we don't. I don't think we get enough chances to really do that, right? Like you can't. You. It's hard to get like a real fight that isn't a real fight in steel. You know what I'm saying? Like that had that matters that would get like recorded or something, right? Like
Yeah, I kind of I think well I think the chapter match system that we had going there for a while was actually a good. It was like it was a real fight, yeah, but it was on a much smaller scale. It wasn't nationals. It wasn't like the regionals or whatever the hell it was. It didn't put you through that much more mental strain. The comparison of a chapter match to nationals or internationals. I mean, that's a feeling we've both had several times where we've just gone, oh,
yeah,
we're here. Fuck.
yeah,
Um, and that it's not saying like stage fright or anything else like that, but it puts a different edge to the thrum of your body, the feeling that you have when you're on campaign and stuff like that. When I go to a chapter match, I'm like, yep, let's go beat on some dudes. We're
yeah,
gonna do the thing. I have a very thuggish feeling about it. But I do understand that it's small scale,
yeah. It's a
and I don't.
scrimmage. It's a
Yeah, it's
scrimmage.
a scrimmage. A scrimmage is more so about building tactics on both sides, and it's more of a practice than anything than I think a real fight. A chapter match. A chapter match, we're going to win. We're going to do the thing.
Yeah, but like I
Um,
mean, that's like as close as I think we get in our sport. Like, how often do you get a team together, like a full team, to go practice with another full team? Like that just doesn't
yeah.
happen, right? So like
Uh,
this is our scrimmage at the moment. This is where you get to go and try stuff in a lower stakes
mm-hmm.
event, but that it still has some stakes,
Yeah.
right? Because that's the
The
that's the difference. You want it to have a little bit of stakes.
yeah, because
So
that makes you compete.
exactly.
That makes you actually compete. Um, and I always put it to my team, or like I was a part of the team and I put this forward. I'm like, look, they're here to impose their will. Let's do it better than they can.
Yeah.
And I think that's the real the, fighting is not just physicality. It is not just running at the guy and bulldozing him and doing the thing. It is the way that you direct that violence and how you tactically do a thing to then do another thing, then do another thing. Like you're a chess player trying to play four moves ahead. And in steel fighting, in that chaos that happens once the first punch is thrown, that is insanely difficult to make decisions on the fly and do the thing.
Yeah.
How many? I don't know how many times I've just like looked around the field and gone, okay, I need to go somewhere, guy. Like left, right, center, doesn't matter. Just do the thing. And it's like literally not even a half. It's a half step. It's not even like a full second. It's just like, shit. Okay, go over here.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
I like one of the problems I've been having recently on that is like when I first started, I didn't think as much. I just ran, and then as I got better and started to be able to process more,
yeah.
I'll pause and try to think of the best choice, and that thought takes 2 to 3 seconds, and that's too fucking long. And like,
We, I also think that in a steel fight, I think that even though it takes 2 seconds, even though it takes that extra second of like, okay, you're still pretty good. Like things can change on a fly, but you can have a general flow and ebb of you can
yeah,
feel the flow and ebb of things a little bit better than that. Don't let us say that it's like if you think too much you're gonna fucking outthink yourself, which you
well,
will do if you like try to like
unless you do outthink yourself, right?
yeah
Like
you
it's
outthink
it's a
yourself pretty
danger.
rough.
It's a danger. Like
Yeah, no,
but also
I
not
agree.
not thinking is also a danger, right? Because like
Yeah,
then you're like I'm just gonna run around, and you
yeah.
just run around, right? It's a balance, but and it's easy to go to either side. Like
Hmm.
recently, I've been going too far into the overthinking. It's just that was kind of my point on that. Is just
Oh, okay. Um, but tactically, we have gone forward so far
yeah,
than what it used to be.
yeah.
Everybody used to think weapons didn't do anything. Do you remember
Ooh,
those days?
yeah, I do remember those days.
It was rough.
Uh,
Um,
yeah, a fat guy bumper car. That's what we used to call
yeah,
it.
that's kind of what it was.
Um,
Uh, God.
Yeah, like when we started, so like you started 2014, right?
Yeah, right at the end of it.
Yeah, and like that's the same. My first time in armor was an event literally like December 14th, I think it was. Like
Hmm.
it was like right at the end of the year. Was That was my first in armor time, and we like all we wanted people wanted to do was just fucking get and hug and hold um and like when you would swing, like no one knew how to swing an axe at the time. No one really knew what they were doing for runs too. Like a check was you run into a dude who's looking at you.
Hmm.
Um, we were bad.
Yes. Um, I will say that the dynamic movement has definitely improved. That is also just because we have gotten more spry folk. Um, But at the same time, like there's a time and place for everything. Tactically, we have changed up things to be either a little bit more dynamic in your movement and how you cross the field, or how you situate the other team to put yourself in a better position to explosively do something like setting people in traps. People weren't doing that really. They were just kind of going man-to-man coverage. I got this guy, you got that guy. We're gonna do the thing. Um, and we like the first swords threw people through a loop with the cross charges and doing like one guy and then the other guy following up behind him and just crushing whoever's chasing him down, and then the other guy across the field's
Y-
like
y-
lying on his ass because Andrew just crushed him.
that was the other big thing that you guys did. I remember. I think it could have been 3 years ago now, but I remember Andrew traditionally had been playing just the center, and that's also
Yeah,
just what you did with your big boy. Your big boy
he
sits
went on
on
a
the
rail and he
wall,
sat down. Yeah,
and you guys started pulling. Sometimes you just stay on the rail, he'd cross over, but also like you do that charge, and then you and him would cross as the first thing.
yeah,
And when you don't know that Andrew can move, that can
yeah.
really fuck you with your day.
Yeah, I can.
um,
I remember at Havasu, I just ran straight into Cole
yeah.
as hard as humanly possible. We were fighting the Striking Eagles, and I crossed the field and ran so hard into Cole. And Andrew's like, "That was the coolest thing to watch ever," and we did okay. Do that again, and then we just started doing crosses more often. I was like, "Well, this is gonna work out."
Yeah.
Um, it's also very good to change like how I say about laying traps. Like, hey, I'm gonna send a dude by himself over there, then like to start with, and you're gonna go, oh, I've got a 2-on-1, so you move up really fast, and then Andrew crushes both of them because they're too far forward for their middle guy to deal with them,
Yep.
because they're going after the one guy on the rail. It might be Josh, it might be me, but they go over to him to get a double team, but Andrew comes over and crushes him, and the other guy just goes away. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, that happened. Um, but doing all dynamic movement, different kinds of tactics that we've thrown around. It used to be walk up, man-to-man coverage, bash him in the fucking head.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
I'm
and
glad that
like,
we've changed.
also like the some of the in weapon striking too, some of the ideas of what you do with it has changed, right? Like before, it was one of the thoughts I remember was you throw weapon strikes to drop people, and if you're not dropping people, don't throw weapon strikes. And
Hmm.
since I've been a big proponent of, and I'm watching other people start to do, is you throw weapon strikes to set shit up, right? To
Mm-hmm.
set up a fucking throw, or just to get
Yeah.
a guy looking in the wrong direction.
Mm-hmm.
And then particularly in chapter matches, but also a little bit in the tournaments, the 2-on-3s, you'll throw a weapon strike to, cause some pain. That doesn't help you at the moment, but maybe next round
Longer
it'll help you,
in the longer run, maybe.
or
I will say that that striking with weapons has been like people have to think about it kind of like boxing. It's a jab. You won't knock somebody out with a jab, but you might. There's a fair possibility that you might do something, and they might just say, "Oh no, I don't want to deal with that." You find that one gap that you didn't know was there underneath a layer, and you
Mhm.
just hit it with a fucking falchion or a single hand axe, and you're like, "Ow, my muscle group." I'm like, "Okay,
Yep.
do that again, and he'll fall on the ground."
Yep.
Um,
Give him a
but
reason to quit. Give
it's
him
a
a
good
reason to
jab.
quit.
Yeah, you use your jab to set up the hook, you set up the uppercut, you set up that knockout destructive blow. Um, and one of my one of my old two truck buddies. He taught me a lot about sword fighting, Megor. He said, have an undeniable blow. Have something that no matter what they do, they have to deal with it, and make it strong, make it there, make it aggressive, so they have to like it has to be a thing they're worried about. That works a little bit more for stick fighting because you're just like playing stick tag and you're hitting a guy. But in steel fighting, that's to set up your second undeniable blow. The other thing that puts them on the ground. If
Right.
that's a leg trip, if that's a judo chop, if that or a judo throw, or yeah, judo chop, get you right in the collarbone. um, so having that like execution move that you have, like if I set them up with this jab, I can do my execution move, put them on the ground, and I'm on to the next guy. Like setting up one thing to make your next thing 10 times better, I think that's a very important thing that you need to do in fighting. And you can do that a lot with single-handed strikes or just like light two-handed strikes. Just give them something they have to worry about.
Yeah, 100%.
Redirect them.
Yeah, and also like if you are throwing shots that they don't have to worry about at all, like yeah, then weapons don't work. But like yeah, if you put power on your falchion and it's moving their head, they have to like stop it or
Yeah,
they can't do other things.
like that's a thing. They have to deal with it. Oh no.
Um, we got a question from Ghoul Among You, asking. He was talking about when, in the night fight, I had Bam and Brian, trying to sort of work against each other instead of going straight on me, and he's asking about how you fight multiple opponents, and obviously it's going to be different for us because
hmm
you're huge and I'm not.
but body positioning and mannerism go a lot into it.
Sure.
You can gain as much like attention from multiple people that I do just by how you stand and how you walk up to the fight and how you engage that fight. It's not entirely a mental game, but if you project the thought process, I'm a big aggressive man, I'm going to kill you. Like there are three dudes here, you have to deal with me. I am here. I will make you pay. Um, and you can then cartwheel them around and keep them engaged. Like keep getting one guy, two guys, keep them engaged with you, and then you can kite them.
Yeah.
Um,
And kiting, for in case people don't have a basic
So
understanding.
I'm here. I'm here. There's these three guys. There's these three guys. I'm here. I'm like, and I don't let them engage with me completely, but then they follow me, and then I make them go all the way over here, and then I keep them going this way, and then my team comes over here and takes them out because I've pulled them in behind.
Right. And that's what we're like. If you hear people talk about kiting, it's really pulling them way out of position.
Yeah.
Probably to do with a kite string. I have no idea why it's called
It's
that.
because you're pulling on a kite string and
Oh, it
it's
is.
following behind you.
Look at that. I
Yes.
I'm, I just pulled
I'm
that
here
out
to
of my ass.
I'm here to help you.
um.
Um, so, but that's not the only thing you do. That's more me stick fighting, thinking about melees and shit like that, like with 80 people. So
I mean, it
my
works. No, like we've done that in
yeah.
fives, and we've done that in. We definitely do that in like tens. I love to push the backfields and
Mhm.
have two or three dudes follow me out there, and I'm like,
Mhm.
cool. You guys just left your line.
Yeah.
My line's gonna eat your line now, and as long as I can stay up.
Yeah, you're in good shape. I usually like try and get two or three guys to come and pay attention to me, and then I just slide up a rail and I make it so it looks like I'm getting further into their backfield. Realistically, all I'm doing is I'm waiting for one guy to grab a hold, another guy to grab a hold, because they actually want to hold on to me. They don't want to like get somewhere else. They're really there to try and pull their weight on me or kick out my legs or something. And I'm waiting for the third guy to come over so I can grab his axe because he's going to have a two-handed axe, and I'm going to grab that thing. Both of these guys next to me have now grabbed a hold of my axe, or I've got an arm around one and the other one's holding onto an axe. I'm going to get this guy's axe and he's not going to be able to swing. I am now holding on to three people. My dude potential is five because my back is to the rail. I can still see everybody else.
Yeah.
Um, but I make it look like I'm trying to get more penetration, which I kind of am, but also at the same time, I'm making it look exponentially more aggressive because I'm just sliding down a rail. I moved 3 feet. 3 feet, like, it's not a whole lot, um, but it looks huge when you're fighting. Like, people react differently to the sort of motions and how you put your body in places, and they just go, "Oh, I have to deal with this man. This guy's my guy." And there's another guy next to him that's not communicating because nobody wants to communicate on the field all that much. I hear grunting and laughing, but that's about it, and cursing. Um, but like he's got another guy that hasn't told him, "I've got this guy, go." And then they both attack me, and then I trap them both, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
But yeah, I mean, like that was my point about how there's different ways how we handle this, right? Because like your point about projecting yourself and creating that like that threat that they have to
Hmm.
look at, yes, 100%. But
Hmm.
you're after you project that threat, your trap is catching them and pulling them in and making them work against each other so that you can just kind of hold them and
Yeah.
shut down their offense. Mine, I can do that with one guy, maybe two if they're not great.
You can stay away
Um,
from people though.
that's that exactly. And what I have to do is a little bit different. You were talking about how you'll grab a dude and you'll let another dude grab you so that you have freedom of movement to get that axe,
Hmm.
right? That gives you up to three. If I want to engage three people, I have to make sure that they can't line up so that all three of them have an angle on me, right? That's
Yes.
my trick is that
You stack them.
I have to be forcing them to walk into a line so they get in each other's way, so only one
Hmm.
of them can really throw a shot at a time. Um, that's the key for me, and how we pull that off. There's little bits of technique and where you're looking for, and also just
Hmm.
sometimes a little bit of brute athleticism.
Yeah.
um,
Um, I do like using soccer jukes, like doing stutter steps and things like that. That actually stacks up people very well. Compass steps where you're changing your angle. Basically, if this is my back foot and this is my back foot and this is my front foot, a compass step is to here.
yep.
It is basically it's not forward. It is here and to the angle. So now you're faced like this and you're in horse stance, and then you can reassess from there and then do other things. And that can actually make you stack them even better.
Yeah, yeah. You definitely want to cut that angle to the outside. One thing I like to do is do a little bit. It's kind of like a stutter step, but like you come in a little bit as if you're going to engage, and then they go back on their heels, and then you're like, nope,
Hmm.
I lied. I didn't actually want to get.
Yeah, and you just make you spook them a bunch and go,
Mhm.
hey, I'm gonna fuck with you now.
Yep.
You have shown me a tell. I'm going to use it.
Yeah. I also do a lot of level changes, which is something
Hmm.
that is less used in our game, in particular in Melee, than I'd like to see it. I have a video coming out on that. Probably not till December though, because I'm trying to do
Uh-huh.
National Novel Writing Month. But
Yeah.
that.
Eh.
Hey, you know what? I like writing stuff. It's
Hey, I like
important.
writing stuff too, man.
You
No doubt.
write. Okay, write a novel with me. Let's do it. Let's go.
I did.
With me.
No, with you. Okay,
Yeah,
what? Okay, I got you.
we're gonna write a novel. That's what we
Okay,
just.
everybody in the comments, I want you to come up with a name for mine and Ringo's novel that we're going to co-write. I will edit it afterwards, but we will co-write it,
Oh, I
and I
won't.
will then edit it.
Oh, good, because I'm not editing at all. There's
Good.
gonna be so many mistakes in there.
I know.
Uh,
And
someone
I'm
reads my
going, and I'm
blog.
going, and I'm basically going to put asterisks next to like every mistake, and I'm going to go into the bottom and then make some ridiculous commentary about you as a writer and how you cannot figure out grammar, punctuation, or diction.
Yes.
This is the 85th time he's used the word great where he could have used all manner of other things.
Yeah, because great is a great word.
They're great.
Um.
Um,
Anyway, back to fighting. Real quick, everyone probably knows who you are watching this. But in case they don't, do you want to give a quick background of your fighting career, and then I'm gonna do the same in case you brought people, which I think you did, and they might not
uh,
know me.
Gotcha. Um,
Yeah, halfway into
hi.
our fucking talk.
Yeah.
Let's
Here's
do
some
the intro.
introductions for you guys. So my name's Paul the Barbarian. I've been fighting, I don't know, 10 odd years doing some kind of armed combat sport. I don't count wrestling or boxing. So I did those beforehand, but more so, most of my knowledge has actually come out of fighting foam, rattan, and then I went into steel. Foam, I've been fighting 10 years. Rattan's been about 7 or 8, and then steel fighting's been about 6 or 7. No, 6. Oh, what the fuck am I talking? I do a YouTube channel. I talk about things. Oh, basically that.
Yeah.
Um, we've
Subscribe
gone.
to Paul's YouTube channel.
Yeah,
Like his
I,
Facebook
I have a
page.
button. I have a button for that somewhere. I'll grab at some point in time. Um, and Ringo, we've known each other 5 years.
5 years. Yep.
Nationals, internationals, all every level of the sport doing dumb shit. Even
Coaches,
singles.
coaches, singles.
Yeah.
We've coached against each other. I don't know if we've coached against each other, but we've coached at the same events.
Yeah. Right.
We've fought singles against each other. We fought rattan against each other.
hmm
We fought steel both on the same team against each other in basically every size melee that there is.
Yeah. I can't wait for 30s.
Ooh, I'm so the fucking announcement for Blood and Steel's 30s, fucking
Yeah.
domestic 30s. If you're not checking this out, Knights Hall is going to be putting on an event next. I don't remember. Probably October, August. Check their
Yeah.
Facebook page. I don't know, but
I can't remember when it is.
we're gonna have 30s in America. Two
September 11th.
September. Whoa, wow. Okay,
Yeah,
that's
that's the only reason I remembered the fact that it's that date is because it's that date.
because that date.
Uh,
Yeah. Um,
what about you, Ringo? What have you been doing?
I started fighting in 2012 in Rattan, the year that all steel fighting started. I happened to wander into a Rattan practice, and it happened to be Jay's practice. um, and he was trying to get me into steel pretty much right away, and I held off and I held off and I held off. And then in 2014, he decided to try and make the Knights Hall more of a full-time thing, and so I signed up, even though I
Yep.
didn't have armor, and that convinced me to get armor. And so I had my first fight, as I said, in December of that year. Then we fought a couple times. That's in the 2015. I
Yeah.
think in February, and I don't remember when else, but a couple times.
Yeah.
Um, and then we went to Poland, and then after that, I've been overseas a couple times with the team. I fought everywhere else. The one thing I haven't done is go to Baden, and you have. Um,
hmm
we were both on the TV show. If you the night fight, we were
Yep.
both champions of our episodes.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, we've done a lot.
Oh, we've done. Apparently, we have. Yeah, Botten, 2015. I did that the same year. Me, Andrew, Don Brandt, a couple other guys. We all went over and did both IMCF in Malberg, Poland, and then we went to the Czech Republic for Prague for Botten. 2015, we fought on the 21s there. That was hilarious. Think about a list that's only 30 feet wide by
Oh,
45 feet long. Like think about what we'd fight a fives match
yeah,
in,
I know.
like for a local thing, and then put 42 men in it.
Ugh. Yeah,
Oh
and
my
like,
God.
and that's and if I remember, we were still on the bigger is better train at the time. So like all
Well,
of our
that was
fighters,
HMB. That was HMB.
they were not on that train. I know they started on that
No, they
train,
were.
but
They
okay.
were. They were. Andrew fought on the same team as Hulk.
Oh,
Um, another two or three guys that were all huge,
yeah,
like just monstrous humans.
yeah.
Uh, and they beat Russia one, I think, in one round. I
Oh
think they took
wow,
one round from the Russians. They took one round from one Russian team.
that's
Um,
whatever
they were the
Russian team. That's pretty badass.
they were the first ones to do it. Uh,
Um, Julie, I don't know if the 30s is co-ed. I would assume. I don't believe we do any male-only fighting. I believe we only do women-only fighting.
yes,
Um, so if a woman wants to fight, I assume she's invited, but don't quote me on that.
they are.
I don't
Jay
run
was
anything.
talking. The comments on the web have been there's also a fives women's fives they're
Yes.
trying to do.
I also believe we're gonna try to do some singles there too.
Oy.
Uh,
There's always singles.
which there should be. One of the things, so I like everyone, not like everyone, like most people prefer the melees to the singles, but like I think our singles get short shrift, and I wish they didn't.
I understand and I agree with you. But there's also
I knew there was a but.
you
I knew it was coming.
No, a fair shake of the singles is a needed thing, but at the same time, watching two dudes box is a lot more fun to watch than watching two guys fling a piece of steel at one another that's actually not going to hurt them.
Sure. Um, if you're only looking for the blood sport angle, and I don't think we can fix that.
No, we can't, and I don't
Um,
want to. It's fine.
yeah, like
I like sword and buckler fighting. It's fun. I
but
can do it all
like
day.
but that's the thing, like um it's there's still a spectacle aspect to it. Like people still enjoy watching BJJ and for
Oh
the
yeah,
technical aspect, and people like
yeah,
watching Taekwondo, and like in general, those people aren't getting that fucked up because it's point sparring.
yeah,
BJJ is not point sparring. Obviously, they do have submissions, but a lot of those matches just go to points. And
yeah,
wrestling just goes to the pin, if
yeah,
anything. So like, I think it's doable to make it entertaining.
yeah.
I don't know what is required to do it. Besides more of an investment in it and a more hyping on like the community aspect. And then like obviously some rule changes are probably necessary. But
So,
like we
what
can
would
figure that
you,
out as we go.
out of polearm, sword and board, sword and buckler, longsword, which one, as you the general populace, as a unlearned individual, would which one would you like to watch?
Longsword.
Polearm.
Longsword. No. Longsword.
Polearm. People love watching polearm because they love watching giant things swing. It's a more dramatic thing, so they like watching that thing. Um, it's what I've heard. I
There's
can understand that.
there are definitely people who enjoy the pole arm because it makes the big boomy noise when it
Yes,
hits.
big banging noises.
And like and sometimes you get to see dents happen and it's impressive.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
like
yeah.
the sheer intensity, the athleticism,
Hmm.
like that shows a lot better, in my opinion, in the flashiness of a high level longsword duel.
I
Um,
completely agree with you.
okay.
I get you.
So,
Um, but I'm talking about the general populace, not us, because
all
we're
right.
involved in the sport and we're excited about the sport and we understand all of that jazz all that extra schmegma that you slap on top of the cinnamon bun. Like all people want to see is that ooey gooey white dressing. Just bleh.
Well, so I think there's definitely a bunch of people who do, but I think there's still some average Joes, for lack of a better word, who are there for the swords and the sword play,
Yeah,
even though they don't know what it is.
yeah.
Speaking of average Joes, though, I'm gonna do a really shitty whatever they're called, transition. Sure. Um,
Transitioning.
one of the things we talked about before, we came up with a couple list of things we wanted to talk about. One of the ones I wanted to bring up is how do we make? What are your thoughts on how do we make this sport, um, or is there a way to make the sport interesting to lay people who aren't particularly into knights? Like maybe they watched Game of Thrones once, or like they saw Seven Samurai and went, "Oh, that's kind of cool."
Okay.
Like, how do we get those people? Is it worth it to get those people? And if so, how do we do it?
Do those people watch MMA or boxing?
I don't fucking know. Yes. Let's start with yes, and
Okay,
then deal
yes.
with no.
Then if it's yes, then you more sportify the sport. Like you have to figure out a way to make it faster. You have to figure out a way. I'm sorry to say it, but what they did to the fighting in Night Fight,
Oh
time
wow.
rounds to get back up. Time
Okay.
rounds to get back up. I like. Okay, look, that came out a little rougher than I expected it to, but at the same time, the thought process. I am very married to the sport as it stands because I like the way this sport is as it is.
Yeah.
Like myself, my personal feelings about like how we fight and how we score and how we do things. I like to casting him to the ground. I think that is a good place to be at. I like doing that for a competitive, like as a competitor wanting to do things in this sport. Um, because get away from that fucking reasoning. Uh, but doing
No, you
the
were
way
on something. Don't get away
no
from it. You were
no
going. You were going.
I'm veering away.
There was a good rant there. I feel cheated
So
out of my good rant.
what do you mean, like the angry rant about the show or something like that? Or is that
Oh
what you're
no,
going
was
for?
there one?
No.
Did you have one of those too? Cause
No, 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 no. What were you expecting to come out of what I was saying?
you were going into like the purity of the sport and like
Okay.
what speaks to you about it, and like I want to hear that, man.
Oh God. Oh.
Oh, give me that hipster shit. You know I'm in for it.
Oh, we could have a whole episode talking about the warrior spirit. I don't know how I could make that more like hooshy
Do
or
it.
like
Go.
crunchy. No, absolutely not. Not right now. That is a different night where we're both sitting in my teepee talking about stuff around a fire, um,
I
and lots
can
of
light
smoke
a fire.
in the middle of your room. Yes,
Michael gets so mad at me.
Mike will kill you. And I will completely I will give him all the room in the world. He's also got a really old house with dirt basements. You
Yeah.
think you can't just go away?
Fuck. Uh,
So I like how the sport is done as it is, casting to the ground. It does make our fights faster. It doesn't we don't have to fight nearly as long because knocking the down from a organizer standpoint and being able to progress through a day of fighting, I think that's pretty easy. It speeds it up a little bit more. Doing timed rounds is a much easier thing because then you're able to time stuff. But then how do you deal with like subbing people in and dealing with armor breaks and sitting people down for armor breaks and setting them out kind of thing? Do they fight a man down? I know that you guys were doing a timed kind of thing up at the hall, but you were still doing cast to the ground instead of like what was on Night Fight where we fell down, we got back up.
mhm.
Um, I actually think that kind of like allows for a lot more injuries
Yeah.
with more people in the field.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't I like so part of me like really liked the idea. So first off, I really loved that fight, like getting to do it to get down and get back up. But also like there's a danger there where like we all knew each other, so we were all chill, and also there were cameras everywhere. But like I'm pretty sure no one would have tried to hurt someone while they were down. But like I don't have that same like for the most part I have that same trust in the sport, but like also there are some dudes who like are just out to hurt people.
there
Like
are dudes that are just dumb.
and that too. Uh there's both. There's mean and there's dumb. And sometimes there's dumb and mean in the same person.
Okay, I'll give you another reasoning why not going to that kind of situation and what we kind of need to do. It is lowest common denominator rules wise. Like put the guy on the ground. You touch the ground for longer than like a certain amount of time or put too much weight, you down. Done. Like that's real easy for a crayon eater to get and do. Um, by the way, I meant to say halberdier or polearmsman
Yeah. Yeah.
just to say. Though I do know some very smart polearmsmen. Ian's really smart. He's really bad at aiming though.
Yeah. Also, is he really a polearmsman? He uses a short axe. That's different.
If I gave him a 6 foot long axe, you would take it away from him and tell him no.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you would because he's on your team and he's gonna hit you with it.
No, he's gonna hit you with it. You're gonna
No.
take it away from him and tell him no. Don't swing that at me. I watched him fight with a 6 foot long pole arm this weekend. It was hilarious.
Ooh, are there videos?
No.
Ah, damn it. All right. We have
Um,
another question from the chat though. About what we were just talking about. So, Ghoul Among Us wants to know how different is fighting in a tournament versus timed rounds like Night Fight. Like you said, timed rounds in a tournament. Once you're down, you are out. So you're not out for good in a tournament, but you are out for that round. Um,
so if you go to the ground, you have you start with 5 guys. They have 5 guys. If you fall on the ground, you're one. Once everybody is down on one team, actually no, let's do this. If you're the only guy that goes down and the other team's all on the ground, end of the round. Everybody gets back up. We start back at 5 on 5, and then we do it again. Same with 10 on 10, 16 on 16, 20 on 30s. So like versus timed rounds where you use the same rules. One team on one team, one get like they all fall down and then you reset, but it's on a timer. You don't have time in between rounds or anything else like that. You immediately fight and you see how many points can be scored in that amount of time. If it's a 15-minute round, 20-minute round, whatever you want to call it.
I mean, alternatively, you could even do it like you're down and you get back up, and every time you're down, it's a point.
Yeah,
Or some other
that's the
thing.
other option.
But
That's the
I
other
mean,
option.
there's a bunch of options, dude. I have a
Yeah,
whole list
I know.
of like potential ways to fix the sport, and
So
90% of them are untenable.
to make it more,
Hold up. I just want to talk real quick about why that's different. That style. To answer that question, right? So like, in if you, whether you're getting back up in the middle of the fight, or whether you're getting back up and immediately fighting again, there's this either of those make it so that it's not about that one throw. So A, it's not particularly dangerous to go down. You
yeah.
may be a little bit more willing to take a dangerous throw yourself or put yourself in a dangerous position to try
Hmm.
and get a victory condition.
Hmm.
Versus when if you lose 2 rounds, you guys are out, and if you basically, which means if you go down twice, you have cost your team the round. You're the fight. You're going to be much more cautious, um, which is one of the reasons it's a little bit slower in that style. Um, and if it's an active fight, like Night Fight, where you got down, you could immediately pop back up. One of the big problems you'd have there, no, not problems, one of the big things you'd have to adjust to, and I struggled with, I don't know if you did, is that you put someone down, you heard him talk about it before. Dude potential. Dude potential is how many dudes could possibly hurt you. Once someone's down, you stop adding them to your dude potential. That's how we do our math. And so you'll turn away, and then someone will hit you from behind, and you'll be like, "What? You're down." Oh, right.
I'd like you to refer to the last episode and the first round of the team melee's 2v2v2. Um, Simon made my spine paste. There are actual like creases in those plates. They're all little, really small plates. They don't disperse
Is that
strike
the one where
forces
he
real good.
like the axe rolled too?
Um, what do you mean?
There's
No.
one of the shots where he hits you, it rolls,
Oh,
and I think it's the one that drops that like you're like and like I'm just imagining how, if that is that one, how bad that would have been had it not rolled. Like,
so there were a couple different blows where Simon hit me in a step. That was that last one where I went to the ground. Simon hit me while I was stepping,
yeah,
and I literally just had too much force. I tried to move my body away from his blow to disperse some of the force,
yeah,
like you would in a boxing match. You get punched in the face, you turn your head with it to let it slide a little bit more. I was trying to take an extra step, and I just put too much of my weight forward and threw my ass to the ground. But Simon hit me a fair few times in the
yeah.
back during
There's
that.
there's the one up high, and that is the
I
one that
got a stinger out
drove.
of that one.
Yeah, it's the one that
Yeah,
drove your fucking whatever into your
my
neck.
my collar plate
Yeah.
directly into that muscle bundle that's right there, and it felt
Mhm.
like wonderful. Tell you
Yeah.
what.
You had a great fucking mark from it
Oh
too.
yeah, it was just like a straight ass cut. Um, so, and
War stories.
I'm sitting there, and I'm like, my hand, I can't like really, I'm trying to clench my hand, and I'm not getting any like like things happening, and I'm like, hey, that's annoying. And then Cumby's like, I'm ready to go back in. I'm like, I can strap back in. It's not a big issue, but like, let's think about your career, bud.
Just think about the
Um,
fact you can't walk.
well, I mean, yeah, that was a thing. But I
I
looked at him like yeah, we can do another 90 seconds. We can run this out. That'll be fine.
also
But my first words to him were, "It's not worth it. 10 grand is not worth your career in the military, brother."
did
Um,
I didn't hear you guys talk about like, and like I you I it, maybe you were, but like you definitely should have been like, there's no way we were gonna take it easy on you. like
no.
like I didn't want to hit him, but if he's standing there and fighting me, I have to.
Yeah. Well, the other question was is like, okay, Combi, let's do it. What do you want me to do? Do you want me to stand here with you and get turned into hamburger on the rail, or do you want me to run across the ring and try and drag some of them away so I can get hammered on that rail? Like, so which would you like this to be? I'll go with the plan. We can go out and fight. Like there was several times where me and him looked at each other and we're like, let's fucking do it. What are they gonna do? Tell us no? No, tell us no.
Turns out, yes, that's exactly what they're
They
gonna
can't
do.
tell us no. Yeah, they can. Um, I signed a contract and everything said that they could. Sons of bitches. You need to get a skull bowl, sir.
Uh
Shit, I need one.
oh. You were like before this was like I gotta set up all my props, but he forgot the necessary prop. All right. Well, Paul's wandering off to find a thing. Does anyone have questions? Looks like Ghoul, welcome to the sport. I'm real glad. I think you said your name was William earlier. I'm sorry if I don't remember. I get hit in the head a lot. Um,
Skull Bowl.
oh, he's back.
Skull
He's
Bowl.
back with a skull bowl. Isn't that that's a cup? That's not a bowl.
I've
That's
eaten
for
cereal and
drinking.
spaghetti out of it. It's a bowl. Try and argue with me. I got books too. I know. I also brought. Hey, I think this is a thing you should do for both Trash Night Ringo and Paul the Barbarian. Fucking subscribe. You need to do this. Like, look at it.
um,
Look at it.
yeah,
Fuck.
I should have one of those things set up where I can like hit a button and it would then link both of our uh things
Pow.
in the channel. I don't because
Is
I
that the thing that you can do?
dude, the amount of like cool shit you can do on this. Do you remember Die Hard? The guy who
Yes.
runs our stream? You should
Yeah.
see his fucking setup. And like I really need to get with him to do this for me, but like I can't pay him yet and I feel bad not paying him. So
Yeah. Is he fighting?
no, I don't think he wants to. I think he just likes being around. Um
Hey, I like those kinds of people too.
yeah, he's a great dude. But like like every time I get to like announce with him, it like just the amount of shit he made he made a soundboard. Like I all right, we're not talking about fighting
Okay.
right now. We should
Okay,
get
let's
back
talk
on
about
track.
fighting.
Sorry, I'm gonna nerd out about how to make Twitch work. Um,
Know how to
yes,
size
yes,
up a team
Valis.
across the field.
Die Hard is the man.
I want to know how to size up a team across the field and make adjustments.
Oh, where did you see that? Oh, hey, right there.
Hey, right there.
right.
How do you size up a team across
Okay.
the field and make adjustments?
So here's my thing. Don't. Not across the field, right? Because I remember being told when I first started, like, if you see a big dude, and like, this is talking to me specifically because I'm small, you got to run away from him because you're too small and they'll take you down. And then turning to a big dude, being like, obviously go right at the little dude. And I remember how well that worked for us in, sorry, in Denmark when I was told to run at the little dude because I could take him, and he dumped my ass 3 times in a row.
Yeah.
So like,
Hey. Yeah.
so like, you're not gonna be able, in my opinion, to and people talk about the dude with the shitty armor is always terrible. Have you
No.
seen my fucking armor? Have you
you
seen
seen my
Paul's
kit?
fucking armor? Like, he's got the one nice piece. And
My gauntlets are pretty nice.
he's got the 2 nice pieces.
They're 3. 2 gauntlets.
No, gauntlets are 1 piece. No.
Uh,
So anyway, my point is like it's too superficial to just look across the field. You can maybe get something by the way a person walks. There's a confidence that good fighters usually display. And like you can maybe tell like, oh, that person is moving awkward, but that's like the best I think you're gonna get the moment. So instead, you gotta watch before you're across the field, and that's where you can start sizing people up. Like you can, if you watch a team fight 3 fights in a tournament, you might have a good idea of how they fight. Like I remember one New World Cup, watching you against you guys. Every round you came out, and there was about 3 steps of slow, and then you broke some sort of charge. It was either a straight charge or cross charge, a double team on a dude. And so we were like, cool, the big thing we have to make sure is that if we come out halfway, we're ready to receive that charge, or we'll just not come out halfway.
yeah.
And another and different New World Cup, the Wolves were fucking smoking everybody because Jake and Sean were doing this weird swirl run, and people couldn't track them, and it would open someone up for someone else.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, hey guys, if we just sit on the back rail,
Mm-hmm.
They can't run behind us.
You have birthed the denied flank.
um,
You've put yourself in a position where like they can't flank you. Hey, I have no backfield.
yeah,
Eat fence,
yeah.
dickhead.
Which
Um,
like against a team that is really good on one-on-one fighting was a terrible idea for us. But so you have
hence
this.
hence nationals.
Yes.
Those were some good fights. I
Yeah.
enjoyed watching them.
Yeah. We got smoked by Iron Phoenix because
It was a
they
hard. No, no,
fucking
you're talking about Carnage. I'm talking about
oh
Nationals in Reno,
Reno we got smoked by
Texas.
yeah warlords. That is, those were so the first one is just I think it was Brett that the way he fucking took down Mangler, like we were fucked in that first round.
Yeah,
And then the
and
second,
very surprising because Mangler has a very good handle of himself.
yeah, but I don't think he'd ever fought someone in this who has like good quick trips.
Hmm.
And also he doesn't have knees. And also he's 56.
Yeah, he doesn't. He
Did you know that? He's fucking
yes,
56.
he is old.
Like
And
this
Mangler
is
can
a
outfight most people.
yeah. I mean, honestly, he's one of the people like I am never happy to fight against. Like I'm just
Yeah, no.
like I'd rather fight Brett, who's probably a better fighter, because it'll
Yeah,
be less fucking annoying.
yeah, Mangler is difficult because you just can't put him on the ground, and he's tough enough that anything you dish out to him, he's just gonna go whatever, dude.
Yeah, and he won't stop. And then if he ever gets on top of you, you're not leaving.
No, he gets
um,
his hands on you, you're kind of fucked.
yeah, I remember. Were you there for the fight for the I forget what it was. One of the funky fights we were doing, and like everyone fought. It was a warlord fight. So like you fight and you could collect the team, and
Oh yeah.
and like Brian fought Mangler for the first fight, and Mangler won by letting Brian throw too many punches until he got tired, and like he takes his
Wow.
helmet off and his face is just fucking bleeding. It's like and like his helmet, like I mean he bleeds a lot anyway, but like he's fucking gushing, and
Yeah.
it's like his helmet works. What happens? I just ate a bunch of punches and then I won.
I just ate a bunch of punches and it was fine. Like, oh, whoa. Okay, buddy.
Anyway, I lost. What was the question we were answering?
How do you size up a team from across the field? You say don't because
Yeah.
anybody can be anybody, right? So sizing up is the wrong term that I put this under, like shaping them, shaping their line, shaping their tactic, make them think you're doing something differently, make them react to what you're doing, and then you have a better idea of how to then deal with them. If you see two guys, if you take one guy from the field, one guy from one side of the field and put him on the other side as you're walking up, and you just switch a guy over, you make him swish in the backfield, you will see two guys immediately look, or they will move, or they will shift. Those are usually the more um, either aggressive or more uh, experienced fighters because they're watching the dynamic movement. They're like, okay, if they're putting that guy over there, he's probably going to do something wacky. I have to deal with that guy. Um, it's usually like that's something I notice, but usually I don't like try to size them up. Like I get a little bit of a read from them as we move up the field and do different movements and everything like that. Sometimes I'll have Ian and Andrew cross in front of each other at a walk and do something different, like putting Andrew in the middle or putting Ian to the right flank or putting me in the middle instead of Micah and then sending Micah over to the side because then I'm going to have a grappler like Josh grab a hold of two dudes and then Micah's going to chop them to death if I'm switching that. And
Can
I'm
I
going to do
talk
something
about
into the
how much
background.
I love the idea of a Micah Josh pair? Sorry.
No.
like like you Josh has like I've been watching some of old tape of Josh and I have consistently underrated him
Hmm.
as a grappler, which is bad on my part. And like I never read him as a bad grappler. Like I always thought he
Yeah.
was good, but like he's a lot better. He's really good. Um
Hmm.
and then Micah is one of the dudes you do not want to get hit with. So like
If you allow Micah to have room to do the thing that he does, he's going to do it real good and you're going to feel it real bad.
yeah.
Um, The problem with Micah is if you stack one guy, if you get a guy one on one with him and get inside his grips, like it's not. And it's no offense to Micah. Micah is a very good meleeman. He's a great teammate. He is not the most wonderful person to work with because I'm like, okay, Micah, I need you to keep doing this, but I need to go over. No, go over there and do that. And he's like,
Well, Micah very much is of the idea that he wants to have fun in the sport, which isn't wrong,
I'm completely with it. I'm
but
completely
like
with it.
it does sometimes cost fights. Like when he took a bat into a fight, it was hilarious and awesome,
It was. We
but
had that
like,
discussion though. At that Havasu, we all looked at him and like, "Are you really taking that?" He's like, "Yeah, fuck it, I might as well." I'm like, "Sure, buddy,
but
whatever you want to do."
didn't he take it against like one of the like the better teams you
The
guys have
Grizzlies,
fought?
yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It was the team.
The Grizzlies with Samurai on it.
Oh yeah, Sam was on
Yeah.
fire that fucking tournament
Yes, he
too.
was. He tore a lot of people down, including me and Andrew.
Hmm.
Another guy that I've been in with the sport with like basically our whole careers with is
Dude.
Sam.
Oh yeah, Sam and I.
There's pictures.
He is like my, even though he's way better than me at the moment at longsword, he's my forever nemesis at it. Cause like for the first 3 years we kept doing this together, and like
Yeah.
even when he traveled somewhere else, and we just always ended up together fighting longsword, and then
Hmm.
so he will be my forever nemesis, even though he's way better than me now.
Yes. Well, I mean, just look at the guy. What do you want? Um,
His hair.
yes, I understand.
Are you
Have
balding?
you?
Are you balding too?
No, I am just ripping my hair out,
Oh.
follicle by follicle because of all my helmets. Because I pull my hair back underneath all of my caps and put on my helmet, and it rips my hair out. So
Um, so, two more questions. Are phalanxes ever useful? Josh says no. I'm gonna say mostly no, but I now that we're getting into larger melees, the 30 on 30s and the 100 on hundreds, I'm gonna put an asterisk on that and say we may we may find that that's a useful strategy at some point. You don't think so? Or
no, 30. Okay, I want you to think about this. Steel fighting is about explosive movement. It is about taking advantage of the punch when you make it.
yep,
Right?
yep, okay,
Explosive shit. If you put yourself in an armored formation, other than like a police line like we did in Poland, where we'd pull guys back in and murder them and shit. Um, but if you do a little bit more of a staggered line instead of a phalanx when you're lock, um, then you are a static formation that doesn't. It's not going to really move all the greatest in a field. It might be an impenetrable wall for about like a minute. Like you send enough motherfuckers at it because you're not going to take down every guy that hits that wall. You're going to punch through, and then they're going to try and figure out what the fuck to do. Um,
I'm still keeping
like,
my asterisks because I just don't think we know enough about the
oh,
super
absolutely not.
large melees. But you're probably right. I
In
have
steel fighting, we might not understand it completely in a steel fighting compensation, but we know about it enough in other things, and then applying your fucking knowledge and being a human and
sure,
using
but like
using the fact that you have an analytical brain sitting in your
but
fucking
like
like noggin.
in Rattan, phalanxes are sometimes useful.
Oh yeah, no shit.
Anyway, so I'm putting an asterisk. We haven't seen it be useful. I don't know that it would be, and I can't think of a situation that it would be. But we're the sport's changing,
Yeah.
so
A
some
classic phalanx. I don't think a classic phalanx will work. There will probably be some fucking twist, and we'll look at it 10 months from now and go, "Oh, look, it's kind of like a phalanx," and I'll be like, "Shut the fuck up, it's not." Um, they don't have shields that go from hip to goddamn shoulder, and they ain't protecting their guy to the left, are they? My bitch.
well,
Okay,
maybe they
whatever.
should. Anyway,
I don't know. You want to use big shields and melees? Is that what you want to do?
maybe I don't
I
know.
want to ramp and catapult off of them.
Yes, I
Yeah.
want that so bad. So here's a question: what are your thoughts on the legality of a guy on your team if they're down, bracing themselves for you to jump off of, like to run it and like jump off their back? Like
They are terrain, aren't they?
I think so. Like I think we can make this a play, and we
Don't,
should.
don't. Oh, because I'm gonna want to do it.
Yeah, you are. You just hearing it,
No
you want to
one's gonna
do it.
want. Nobody on my team's ever gonna allow me to take my big size 16 and plant it on their shoulder blade and just
A-
jump.
Andrew would. Andrew loves you.
No, Andrew will not.
Andrew, if you have watched this, please do this.
Andrew has a family to deal with, and I don't think dislocating his shoulder blade and shoving it through his chest cavity is exactly the best plan to help that idea.
uh,
Look, man.
I want to see it. I want to see a flying paw. Anyway, um,
I'll
so
Superman punch you. That'll work.
so
I'll jump real high.
one of the other questions I had, one of the other topics. Oh, we're getting in an hour, so we may not get through the three topics. We've got through one.
Okay, well, okay. Let's do the last one, and then we'll cut it out.
Well, I mean, we're not. Well, anyway. So for me, like, is there a difference between honor and good sportsmanship, and what are their place in the game, in your opinion?
Okay, they're one and the same.
To
Your
you,
honor,
to
like
to
the
you,
fact that
to Paul.
what? What?
Nothing. Go.
2 for 2? What do you
I
mean?
said to you. They're the one and the same to you.
Yes. Okay, so honor, uh, in the terms of a sport that has rules, being honorable and following those rules, like, kind of follow, like, I think one of the main things about good sportsmanship is that you're doing shit by the rules. That's good sportsmanship to begin with. If you're following the rules and you're not doing any dirty shit, you're an honorable person by the rules and in the sport. Good sportsmanship, being nice to your buddies and picking them up off the ground and everything else like that, that is all extraneous emotion that is tied to it, that is valid and very real. I don't like having people spit on me and telling me I'm shit when they knock me on the ground after three of them had to fight me to do it, because that's pretty standard. But being decent about it, at least, like, that's also the other thing about this sport, is that it's been so fucking small and that we've always been more not a family, because I don't like the word family anymore. That's been ruined for me. I like the cultish atmosphere of, like, that we have, that we um like, it's the fact that we're all buddies. I mean, I'm on good terms with most of the guys out of California. I don't have any ill will towards those guys. Some of them can be snooty pricks, but everybody's got a couple bad apples and pricks, like,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Um,
He's talking
and
about you, Brandon. When you go on his stream, he's talking specifically about.
what, Brandon Knight?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. No, he's just like real quiet around us because he doesn't know how to deal with us. And
I
he doesn't like talking about sword fighting. I'm gonna
I
make him talk
know.
about sword fighting.
Every time I try to get him to talk about his training, he would fucking blow me off. And for a
Yeah.
while, I thought it was like he was hiding it, and maybe he just doesn't like talking about it. I don't
I'm I'm gonna tell him to eat dicks because that's what my fucking channel's about.
know.
Like, we're
he's
talking about sword fighting, dude. You're
he's
gonna talk about sword fighting.
he's gonna come on and just sit there like this.
Yeah, I fully expect that.
Uh,
So
Shuts up, Brandon.
good good sportsmanship is like not going out of your way to fucking injure a dude. Like, immediately. If we're just like doing a chapter match, don't try and break a guy's spine.
Yeah.
You see his back armor riding up and he has a gap there. Hit him in the side of it. Hit him in the kidney. Don't hit him in the spine.
Right.
If you're hitting a gap like that, like, do that. I mean, I've tried to hit you in the bottom of the ass enough times. I've tried to hit Jay. I've tried to hit Cat.
You
Um,
have hit me in the ass.
I probably have. Yeah.
You gave me a giant ass bruise. I think there's a picture of it on the internet.
um, but, like, I was not going for injuring you guys. I was just trying to do campaign compliance by the
Yeah.
law, like the rule of the law of the
Hurt,
fucking sport.
don't injure.
Yeah, that's basically my idea. I will punch people in the armpits, and if I break a rib, I break a rib. Not my problem. Um, but I think that's kind of where it is. Uh, I'm a nice person when it comes to hunting gaps. I will hit somebody on the plate right next to the gap, like half on the plate, to go, hey, I'm here. I'm going to hurt you
Yeah.
really badly.
Right.
Deal with me.
Right.
If I'm in international fights, no, I break their fucking arm. Um, I'm gonna lay the axe as hard as humanly possible in him. I'm
Now,
gonna punch him as hard as humanly possible.
just to let me push back on that. When you're saying international, you're talking about the champions, right? This isn't
Oh
like
yeah,
a yeah.
yeah, yeah,
So it's
yeah.
it's about winning. It's when it that like you're not gonna go to a like the Irish tournament and be that everyone's just having fun at and be like
Oh
fuck
fuck
the
no.
yeah. I
I
just I
actually I really want to go out to that. I'm really sad that I didn't make it out there before Griffin passed. That upset.
what?
It's a son, but you didn't know about that.
No.
Griffin passed. Yeah.
Fuck.
Um, good memories to him. I don't know exactly how it went down. I didn't really pressure to the falls. So,
Well, that's
um,
huh.
but
Huh.
otherwise, doing all kinds of crazy stuff. I mean, if you're following the rules, I think that's a pretty good show of sportsmanship just to begin with, and then being decent with each other afterwards.
Yeah.
Um, and the fact that you're honoring the rules, I think that is where that comes in.
Okay.
Like holding yourself to a higher period where you're like, I'm not going to cheat, I'm not going to do anything like dastardly, I'm going to beat him up by the letter of the law, which is pretty fucking okay. Like, okay, don't hit him in the dick, don't try and cut his head off, don't rip his helmet off, and don't stab him. Okay, no backs of the knees, because nobody wants to get hit in the back of the knees, right? Like that's just no good for nobody. It's the golden rule: do unto others as you would do unto yourself. So if you don't feel like getting chopped in the fucking knee or deliberately hitting the dick about 20 times, don't hit him in the dick or the back of the knee.
So wait, does this mean I can't hit anybody? Because I don't want to get hit at all.
Fuck you, guy. But you agree to get hit there. We all like you're entering a social contract when we all agree to these fucking
Ooh,
rules.
don't say that word.
Why?
You know. I'm gonna get on my taxation and theft fucking shit. We're gonna.
Social shit. Okay, like the understanding between two men are like, hey, no, we're only punching to the body, don't punch to the face. Like that's
Right.
what,
Yeah,
like we still
I
have to go
get
to
you.
work tomorrow and do stuff. You have a boxing match, okay, that's fine. Like we all agree to these rules, we all enter into this like agreement with each other going, hey, we're not going to try and kill one another, like legitimately. I will try and cripple you
Right.
though. Um, I'm going to attempt to knock your helmet off with my fist. It's going to work.
It's good. Is it? No.
It has.
You punched someone's helmet off?
I've punched them as they're going down and knocked their helmet off. Yeah.
Oh, is that what happened to Simon? Was that you?
What? No, yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah. He fucking called his shit on somebody else, and that other dude just didn't stop the swing.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a fucked up thing.
Yeah, I mean, shit happens, man. Like it's kind of the sport we willingly walk into blenders, Ringo.
Yeah.
We willingly walk into blenders. I don't know what else to tell you.
Um, you could tell me that COVID's over. We're going back to
Dude,
that.
you have no idea. You have no idea how much I want COVID to die down so I can make a trip up to the hall and spend some time.
Yo, that'd be so dope. That would be so dope.
You have no idea how many videos me and you would make. I'd be like, hey Ringo, fuck real work. We got stuff to do.
I was gonna say zero, cause like I'm both lazy and have a real job.
But if we're a team and we can both motivate each other, you'll make more content. I
Yeah,
promise you.
but we won't though. We'll sit
Yeah, we
around.
will.
We'll sit around and bullshit and be like, "This would make a great video," and then not turn on the fucking.
No, we would just turn. I would just turn on the webcam and just go, "We're riffing. Do it. Like this is what's gonna happen."
Uh,
My editor will lose her mind if I send her 4 hours of us just being jackasses on couches,
oh,
and getting out like 10 minutes worth of footage. She will kill me.
you mean like what we just did?
I mean, it wasn't 4 hours, nothing, and we
That's
actually
true.
kind of stayed on topic, or at least within topics of what we're doing.
Yeah.
Uh,
That said, it is 10:45. I'm gonna go to bed
yes,
because I'm an old ass man.
Yes, I agree with you. I'm going to go to bed as well soon.
Um, Thank you for being on. This was good. We should do this again because we didn't cover all of our topics at all.
Yeah,
um,
I think me and you have a couple of different angles that we can attack things at. Like
yeah.
we can talk about coaching, we can talk about tactics, because we've been doing that for the last, I don't know, 5 years.
Um, do you have anything you want to plug on your channel besides please like and subscribe it?
Yeah, like, subscribe to thing. All of my stuff has like I have a link tree with everything else going on, and I got all the T-shirts and junk, and I have a Venmo now. So if you want to support me going and doing stuff, by the way, gonna go to Oregon in January. Me and Josh, I'm planning on going with Josh to Oregon. Um,
To dance thing?
yeah,
Cool.
and then there's Mead and Mayhem, Northern Virginia, December 12th. Um,
Yes.
Doing that. That'll be pretty dope. It's at a winery. I don't remember, but look it up on Facebook. You'll find something. Josh is going to be screaming his head off in the comments
Yeah,
because I can't
Josh,
remember where it is.
throw out a link since you're in the chat right now.
Yeah. Me Mayhem's going to be crazy. I think we already have 6 or 7 teams already signed up,
I'm
like
hoping to be
5-man teams.
hoping to come down as one of the announcers for that. We'll see how that goes, but
I'm going to push for that because Greg is bringing the setup.
oh, ooh, that sounds
And
so nice.
I really, actually, I was hoping to actually have the live stream hosted on my channel if we could.
Yeah, I mean, talk to your
I
boy.
want you, I actually want I want you to scream like just about things. It'll be hilarious.
I mean, that's what I do.
Yeah.
Like, subscribe, like my Facebook and shit. It's on my channel on this. Subscribe to my YouTube. I have no idea what the link is, so you'll probably never find it. Back me on Patreon and give me your money, cause
Yeah.
you don't want it. I
No.
want it.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on. Let's do this again. And hopefully I'll be on your channel soon.
Yeah. Thank you for having me, Ringo. I'll figure out how to do this and make it a viable thing because technology.
It's the
I got
worst.
lots of hammers to do with it.
All right.
Whoa.
Peace out, man.
Good times. Deuces.